information that comes with the Giani kits and on their website is really very good, so I don't need to reiterate it here. But what I'd like to do is share with you the lessons I learned along the way. Some of what I learned is very particular to me and my project, but I think there are some universal lessons you can get from it too. First, a little about my project. I wanted to update our kitchen with a minimum amount of time and money. We inherited 1980s red laminate cabinets and light gray Corian counters when we bought our house. My plan was to have a handyman complete putting handles on the cabinets and add a stainless steel backsplash. That was contact paper you were looking at there. Meanwhile, I was going to take a few days to transform my 60 square feet of 22-year-old light gray Corian into a sleek black granite countertop by painting the counter with Giani paints. My husband was very motivating. Here's what he said. "Well, if you screw up, it only means you've ruined our kitchen. We can always cook in the living room. Gee, thanks, honey." Anyway, as I said, I'm going to skip over most of the Giani process, which, as you might know, includes cleaning, taping, lots of taping in my case, rolling down the primer coat, and sponging, cutting the sponge pieces, practicing, then actually applying the minerals and layers. The whole counter took me more than 2 hours with the touch-ups. Next, there's applying the shiny top coat, which I'll get into more later, wet sanding the surface to get rid of the bumps, and finally, days later, removing that tape. This is all well documented on the Giani video and website. Because I have a large counter, I ended up using 2 kits of Bombay Black, which, with all the other materials, still cost under $150. The real cost is in your time. Okay, so I'll do the full reveal of the before and after shots of my new dramatic kitchen at the end of this video. Right now, I'd like to give you the list of some of the lessons I learned along the way. Maybe they're self-evident to people, or maybe not, but I would have liked to have known them before I started. Here goes. Be extra careful and generous with the painter's masking tape. If you're a painter, you probably already know this, but it's amazing where that sponge touches down. I have some black primer flecks on my white wall that I'll have to paint over. Also, I didn't notice that Giani advises you to use 3M's painter's tape, quote, for delicate surfaces. I didn't do this and had problems with paint getting under the tape and onto my wall. Put newspapers all over your floor in case of dripping from the cans or roller. Always start your painting in sections where it matters least, just in case you make a mistake. You definitely learn as you go. Paint the further back sections first, so when you lean against your counter to reach back, you don't get wet paint all over yourself. Don't try to rush the sponging. I went slowly and deliberately, checking over my work as I went along. To do all the sponging layers on my big counter took me 2 hours and 15 minutes. Have a really good nail scrubber on hand. Even with the gloves, I got some paint on my fingers and the scrubber was handy to have. Go very lightly with the final accents and veining. They stand out if not done properly, so be judicious. Well, it's after my second coat has dried and I'm a little concerned. I guess I have to do a third coat because there's a big streaky patch. I don't know if you can see it on this video. Right here. I have a wide kitchen island and the roller would get dry and leave streaks. Giani has a new video to address these application problems, but I didn't have it at that point. I tried to make it work by reapplying the top coat 3 or 4 times over the whole island, sanding in between to get it right. I never got it to look perfect, but in the end it seems I'm the only one who notices. When all is dry, remove the painter's tape carefully. You think you're all done, but this is the tricky part. Unfortunately, around the edges of my sink and some walls, some of the Giani treatment came up with the tape, even though I'd used an X-Acto knife to score it. I tried gluing the layer back down, but it continues to peel, so I'm going to have to repaint it sometime soon. Also, a workman used tape while putting up our backsplash, and that also lifted up the Giani treatment after I thought I was all done. So my final words are, be careful. So that's my story of trying to make over our kitchen on a budget. There were some stressful moments along the way due to my extra large countertops and the tape coming up, lifting up the paint job. But overall, I'm really happy with the way things look. And I hope that my simple tips will help you when you do your own transformation.